And I want to specifically address, first of all, start off with Mr. Mohill's comment about the letter he received. And I'll be honest with you, Mr. Mohill, I thought very long and hard whether I should write a note to you about your email. I hesitate to call it what you call it, which is I think you want to portray it as a newsletter, as journalism, with no journalism experience, education, yet you want to wear that mantle. And I can assure you, as someone who, my wife has taught journalism in high school. I've taken journalism courses. I wrote for my high school paper. So I had excellent teachers that taught me what journalism and journalistic integrity is. Listen, I honestly don't take it to heart if you try to say something about me, or you put a photo of me on top of a photo of a human or animal excrement and then call it a political cartoon. What you do in your spare time and what gets you excited about each day is up to you. And I wish there was something more hopeful and joyful in your life than what appears to give you joy. But when you address medical conditions, say whatever you want about me, ADHD, whatever else. My concern is more for the people that you will come after with that same tone, with that same recklessness. And by the way, journalism and the rules of journalism don't absolve you from publishing a letter sent to you with falsehoods in it. Any journalist, any newspaper, any publication will tell you that you have an obligation to vet the information in the letters to the editor that you receive. That's basic common knowledge. And I'm sorry that it's something that you have yet to learn. And I'm hoping at least in whatever time you have left on this earth, you will at least take that into consideration. Because again, I have thick skin, by default or, by, genetics, whatever it is. I have thick skin. And I don't mind a joke at my expense. In fact, I think the funniest thing someone said to me, or someone had put down on one of these blogs or these a troll comment was, he looks like he took his oath of office with his right hand on a box of Krispy Kreme donuts. I laughed. I think it was probably, not something that's suited for a council person, maybe for a schoolyard, but, listen, I can laugh at a good joke, but I take exception at you using a platform that you are trying to harness for whatever it is that you're trying to do and come after people. Today it's a condition that, a writer thinks I have or may want to say that I have. Tomorrow it's about someone who's suffering something more serious. And why it bothers me is because one of the reasons why we've had a relationship where I've tried to show you respect is because I was in these chambers when someone from this side of the dais came after you in a most ugly and vicious way. We're not going to revisit that. It's not for me to rehash it, nor do I want to speak of it. People can go and do their own research and information, and it was a dark point. I remember coming home from that council meeting that evening, and when my wife saw me, she's like, "What happened?" I say, "You don't even want to know." And so I always try to treat people with the same respect that I hope people will treat each other with. You give what you get, and you get what you give. So I will continue to treat you with respect, even though sometimes you make it incredibly hard. And that goes for each and every single person who came up here and who tried to say the fixes. And look, I sent an email over a week ago, I believe, Mr. Garcia, is that correct? Correct. Yeah, indicating my interest to serve, because as many calls, and I have no doubt Mr. Garpetian has received calls saying you should. We all receive calls telling us how we are the greatest thing in Glendale since sliced bread, or in this case today, I guess, Americana or whatever else it may be. But the point being that the last time, the reason I did not serve is because I had a very dear personal, it was my father. My father was hospitalized for an extended period of time for the first time in his life. And along with other conditions and pressures in my life at that time, I did not know if I had the time and I had the wherewithal to give to what this job requires. And every single person up here who served as mayor will tell you that being mayor takes a lot of time and dedication. Not something I want to publicly state, because I don't believe what I go through personally with my family and family members or health issues are really anyone's business. If anyone disagrees, please, by all means, come up here and say so. Unless I think it's something that impedes us from being able to serve, that we're hiding, then perhaps it's something worthy. Like the president's mental condition is probably, whoever the president is something that's worthy of the American public to know. But what I personally deal with, and what I think any of us deal with, is not anyone's real business. And everyone here has dealt with everyone has carried whatever cross they have up to Calvary, and we don't have to advertise it from the top of the mountains for everyone to know. I do believe that the mayorship is a sacred responsibility within our civic democratic life. It doesn't just require to sit here and run the meetings as Mayor Najarian has, but it also is a way for us to build bridges among each other when we have differences. And it hasn't always been smooth up here. But my hope is that whoever aspires to have this position, after Mayor Najarian, after presumptively myself, will be someone who takes that approach of building bridges rather than building walls, trying to find areas of commonality rather than finding ways to be defensive and to find ways of explaining why things haven't gone the way they wanted it to go in this world. This is a sacrifice. Public service is a sacrifice, and I don't know if everyone really quite appreciates what everyone up here has to go through, and I'm not here to ask for kudos from anyone, but just to say that, just as I try to give everyone the space and the grace for them to come here and express their views and disagreements, and know that whatever that disagreement is, I still will serve everyone in this city, as I always have. Not the, what was it, Ms. Brooks, the politicians and the donors or whatever else that you claim. Yeah, that was kind of an interesting moment where you were saying, like, I'm a good person, but you're also a piece of, whatever